Good afternoon. I'm going to basically do the afternoon away. And once again, given that gentle shove from my good friend Laura, who is working on recovering from, I do believe, a root canal. So, hi, Joan. How are you? Oh, Jean, I'm sorry. I have to figure out how to see my own chat in my iPad. So, there you are, Laura. Miss Lena, how are you? I hope the weather's fine in Denmark. Probably cold, right? Um, Hi again. Hi. I want to make sure I did a test the other day. I think I'm right side up. Um, Hi, Karen Sue. Hi, Desert Nanner. Good morning. Good afternoon. It's good um, here. Oh, need rain? Yeah. We've been having what they call in Florida, we get this afternoon thunderstorms that set up in the afternoon, usually about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And it's like a mini hurricane that comes blowing through here. And about, if you're lucky, about a half an hour, the sun's back out and everything's steamy hot again. So, but the other day, I received this beautiful Happy Mail package from Laura. And it was chock full of stuff. And I just had a discussion with her about sharing what was in the package in a video. And she basically said, no, you don't have to do that. It's just for you to have fun with. So I'm having fun. And as you can see, my desk is just one fun mess. And there were just so many bits and pieces that I started to. First of all, I made a place to put the stuff. I like taking those advertisement cards that come in the mail and turn them into mini journals. So that's what I've been doing. And if I was just getting ready to put down this lovely napkin of this very beautiful woman from, looks like a flapper from the Roaring '20s who dreams of being a ballerina. Anyway, so let me show you if I can. I mean, I've got just a hot mess here. And at first, I was going to make it out of the postal catalog, but then I found some of this. So this came in the pack. This came in Laura's Happy Mail, and I rounded the corners, and so this was in the Happy Mail also. On the other side was a picture of a bird, but I kind of like this part of it. And this is from an ad. You can't see that. This is from an ad, a 4th of July card ad. So I figured the old American and a little bit of the flag kind of worked. And then this was a postcard that is advertising a senior citizen retirement community. I get a lot of those because that's who I am. And but it's a pretty postcard and greetings from home. And this is down in Sebastian. And this is some fabric that Laura sent. And this is our little Timmy girl. So I did that as a tip-in, as you can see. I know Laura's a fan of tip-ins, and so am I. Hi, Devin. How are you? Thank you for being here. And so some of this, I kept some of these pages from that tip-in, and Laura sent me this transparency, and that kind of goes here, right? And this is another piece of fabric. So I've been kind of gluing fabric down. And let's see. This is part of the ad, right? But I thought the mermaid sticker that came with Laura's package actually works here. And I have experience, new memories every day. So that's kind of part of the ad. So I left that there. This is a separate card that I glued in, and I have this down as a, I guess this is a flip down. So there it is. Now, again, Laura sent me a lot of fabric, and a fabric rooster, which I then traced on a piece of fabric. And then I have this. This is heavy duty, sticky double side tape. So I just stuck that on the back of this fabric and made a sticker out of it. Now, the colors don't match at all, but I don't really care. So thanks to Laura, this is the original chicken. Yeah, it's a chicken because it doesn't have the thingy. And this is obviously, this is from Laura. This is from Laura, these stickers. There's a little bits of me here. And I love this. This was it. I'm not weird. I'm limited. I'm a limited edition. Edition. I can't even speak. As you can tell, I guess I'm a little sparkly. And let's see. And we got this. And so that's kind of working on that. And that's a, so that's where I am at. Oh, and there was another really cute little thing. And it was a punch out of this little kind of cute little girl, which I thought this was kind of a neat, could be like a neat stencil-y type of thing. I punched her out, and she's here somewhere, and I will find her. But then I also traced her on some other stuff. So I'm going to be using like a silhouette of her. And then I traced her out, and I'm trying to be, and so this was a little thing from the Florida Conservation Group. So I stuck that in, stapled that in. So here's this little girl that I copied onto here, right? And then this is the Stabilo Woodies, which I love using. So I traced it, colored it in, painted the background, and you can see some of the, about the climate stuff. And so, and then I kept this part of the publication about the climate. I thought, get engaged, vote to create change. And I guess we can just leave it at that. So, and I might leave these. This is a publication from the local Sierra Club. So I might leave these and incorporate those. So, and then this is a page from that retirement community, one of their pages. And I thought, guest check, haha, get it? And so this was an actual, so I have to work on that. And then let's see. And then this is a Haverty's furniture. And they send these things out, and they're great because they go forever and ever and ever, right? And I sewed this in using, it's here somewhere. It's some stuff that Laura sent me that I don't think is meant to be used as thread, but I used it as thread. Look, the needle's still attached. So I did a quick journal stitch here, right? So this, look, I love their ads because they're always like this, right? So they keep on giving. So that's the journal that I've made and that I'm working on. So that's where I'm at. Everything's been going well. I've been staying out of trouble because I don't go anywhere. But I'm cool with that. Anyway, so I'm here to I love this so much that I made another one facing this way, but I don't want to put him there. So I don't know, but I have that sticky tape on the back, which is wicked good stuff. Really, I mean, once you peel this off, you can't even get it off your fingers. But then I made a trace. I'm getting so much use out of this this chicken. I trace this on a piece of foam, right? Which I can stick onto a piece of cardboard and make a stamp. And that's what my thing is going to be for our Friday night hop, is making homemade stamps, which I make all the time. They're stamps that I use for like a one time only occurrence. For instance, I sent Mary a little birthday gift, and I wanted some balloons, so I made a balloon stamp. And I made a little birthday cake with candle stamp, and I just stuck it on the envelope and sent it off to her. They're very crude, not rude, but crude, like very, I guess, folk artsy type of basic, but they high candy, and they serve a purpose. And so I have all of these random stamps that I've made, and sometimes I've only used them once. And but I like that, you know what I mean? And I don't want to kind of give away all my secrets for Friday night. But anyway, so this is going to be one of those also. This will be a stamp. All right. Enough talking. Well, I'm going to continue to talk. So I'm going to do this. I heard from my youngest son, who lives in Utah, and he posted pictures of my grandsons going back to school with their masks on. So they're only going to be in school live 2 days, and I guess home the rest. So that's how they were dealing with it. And obviously, I want them all to be safe. So we can just continue to hope, right? All right. I watched Mary last night. Gosh, that melted wax thing is just, I've done a little melting crayons, and it is just so much fun. It is amazing. Hi, Arlene. How are you? Missed you last night. At least I didn't see you last night. I hope you're okay. I thought about you. Melting crayons is just a phenomenal kind of experience. And Mary is just incredible at it. And I just wonder, I haven't spent any time researching, but I just wonder how many people have actually embraced melted crayons as an actual art medium. I haven't seen it done anywhere before. That doesn't mean it hasn't been done before, but gosh, Mary is she just does things like that, that are so unique, and she just digs right in. And I love her, when she puts her little finger cots on. Last night I said, Mary suited up and ready to take off for the Mary zone, where, we don't see her for a while. But it's amazing. Yep. She is amazing. She's fearless. And that's what we all love about her. And humble. You know what I mean? She's not like cocky fearless. She's just, that's who she is, And, you have to love that attitude, like, what do I have to lose? And as many of us tell ourselves, all we have to lose is a piece of paper, a napkin, or something like that. So I use a combination of Mod Podge. This isn't Mod Podge. This is fluid medium. And I added some Elmer's to it, because I've never used fluid before, and I couldn't find the matte medium, and I thought the fluid would be a little bit too kind of fluidy. So I decided to just mix it, and it's fine. The matte, the medium kind of stuff is, let's face it, it's messy. And, a glue stick is a lot easier to manage. But for napkins, sometimes you just can't. I mean, you can use glue sticks, and I have. Stay. Okay. The other thing I've been working on, which I'd like to share with you, maybe at some point, I made a standalone video about the first part of it. I took a mini course through, it's called Sketchbook School, and they have courses that you can pay for. And they did a course on mixed media art. And in that course, they featured 3 mixed media artists who created mixed media pages, journal pages from scratch. And they shared their thoughts and they shared their process, right? And one of the artists that was part of this course was none other than Seth Apter. And it was fascinating to watch him create his page from scratch. And so I tried to replicate what he does. And of course, if any of you are familiar with Seth Apter, which I'm sure many of you are, he is a layers person. I mean, layer after layer after layer, And he moves real fast. You would almost think that he has his camera on fast speed. And he says the reason why he moves so fast is he doesn't want to think about what he's doing. So I got another book, which I decided I was going to turn into a place to put my 61 iCads. And I decided that I was going to kind of create the pages a la Seth. And the first page I did, I had 8 layers. And then the second page, not so many layers, Can I do that? No. So it's hard to put that many layers down. Now, what do you count as a layer? I think that's always the question, right? I put gesso down, right? So I guess that's a layer, right? He gessos all his pages. What I did was I put a glob of gesso down on a mat, right? And then I gave it a squirt of some Seth Apter inks, right? To give it a color. And then I squirted it with water, and then I used my brayer and I brushed that onto the page of the journal. So if the gesso 1 layer, and then if I add color to it, does that constitute 2 layers? So I was intrigued by. Oh, okay. You saw that little video that I did? Yeah. And I was able to, I've gotten, I think up to number 28 of the 61 cards. There were 61 cards in that. And I've included the prompts. And so now there were 2 other mixed media artists also in that class. So I may stick with Seth, or I might use one of the others. Now, the interesting thing about Seth was he said he doesn't really know. I'm sorry. He doesn't really know where he's going to end up. And he lets the page speak to him. So as he was working part of the page, because of the layers, he does collage and stamps, and then more paint, and then like Stabilo type sticks and stuff like that. And because of the layers, it got wet, and one part of the page started to rip. So he started to peel it off, and he said, "See, the page is speaking to me." And then, and this is really weird, the next thing you know, he's talking about 9/11. And he has now taken this page and he's got the two Trade Center towers. And he scribbles them with the black Stabilo. And he stamps a sentiment about 9/11. And I thought, oh, wow, because Friday night when we do our stream, it's 9/11. So I just thought that was just crazy. So just saying. All right, I'm gonna give this the old blast with my heat gun. And as I've been watching Mary melt crayons, I'm thinking that heat gun of hers is what a workhorse, right? Oh my gosh. And that thing is just burning like crazy and melting all those crayons. It's incredible. Have I missed anybody? I don't think so. There's not too many of us in here, which is kind of cozy, right? Lori. Oh, there you are, Lori. Hi. I didn't see you, but I saw someone say hi to you, which is a great way of seeing who's in here because everyone's so nice. Whoops, I don't want to melt my crayons. All right. So I love this flapper. She definitely has the flapper look, right? Flappers were just, oh my gosh. They were really amazing, amazing women. Given the time where they decided to bob their hair, right? And actually go out and party and kind of do their own thing. Well, that's good. I think that's not going to stick. All righty. That's cool. All right. Sorry about the noise. All righty. I like her. Gee, that's a really cool napkin, Laura. Thank you. I've been receiving some napkins. I bought some napkins for the Defy through Shelley, and they came the other day. So my napkin collection is growing, and yeah, I like that. All right, so let's see. No, that's a little bit too creepy. I don't like that. So let's see. See, something like this. Lori sent me this. This is just, oh my gosh. It is so delicate. And hi, Liz. Never Hopeless by Elizabeth. How are you? Thank you for popping in to say hello, Ann. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is gorgeous. It's so beautifully. Did you iron this or did it come ironed? And I'm assuming this was probably a hanky, right? I'm well too. Yeah, thank you. Has anybody actually, I know this is gross, but have any of you ever blown your nose into a cloth hanky? I'm sorry to be gross, but it's just, never mind. It's just, for me, it was kind of a weird expression. Hi, Dorinda. How are you? When I worked on the farm, we had bandanas, and we used those, for the purpose that they were meant for. And I think I've told you farm stories. I can't remember holding back farm stories because that's another whole part of my life when I was a farm laborer. I think I may have told you those stories, though. We worked 55 hours a week. It was Monday through Friday, 10 hours, and 5 hours on Saturday. And there were only, I think, 2 paid holidays. Maybe 3. Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day, and the first day of deer season. And that was it. And I I think I told you that I worked along migrants, and I led crews of migrants into the orchards. Um, it was an incredible experience. Uh, and in the wintertime, they would send me out, and it would be my job to paint the migrant camp. They had 2 migrant camps, one for the African American population and one for the Hispanic population. And these people actually would start their season by picking the citrus crops here in Florida. And then when the citrus crop was all harvested, they would put them on buses. And then they would bus them up to this farm in Pennsylvania. It's still there today. It's called Boyer's Nurseries and Orchards because they also grow fruit trees for orchards to use. 2,000 acres. And we lived in one of the farms. I think I told you this. The farms were all named by the original owner. So we lived on the Cadle farm. And what were we talking about the other day? Ducks or geese? Oh, I can't remember now. But we had geese. I was talking about they can be used as attack animals. We ordered these 6 goslings, and they actually came in the mail. And they were little tiny, goslings like so. And they came in a crate. And this young man that was living with us, and we were waiting for my husband to get home from work because we didn't really know what to do with them, right? Yeah, they can. Yeah. And Bruce was working like the 10 hours a day, 4 days a week, and he was working up in Harrisburg, and we were on this farm outside of Gettysburg, so he was a good hour or so away. So he gets home, and we're very excited. We say, the goslings arrived today, and there were 6 of them. They all survived the journey. And so he became Mother Goose, and it was quite the sight. He stripped down to his BVDs, and he put on his work boots, and he walked outside, and he led them to the pond. They followed him. They got in their little order, and they were stumbling over one another and kind of fighting for their pecking order. And Bruce became the Mother Goose. And he was imprinted on them, and he became the person that they followed. And until they became adults, and then they became attack geese. Yeah, he was the head goose. Yes. And they're not real bright. They will actually drown. We found one that had drowned in the pond. And they didn't all survive. But what happened is when they became adults, the farmhouse there was a dirt driveway, and there was a cluster of pine trees, and we used to park the cars there, and that's where they would hang out. And when Bruce would leave for work, as he went out to the car, he had an attaché case, right? And they would come and attack him. And so he would fling his attaché case, and he would time it so it skid down the side, like the sidewalk, and scatter the geese. And then he would grab his attaché case and get in the car and then go to work. And so they were really vicious, obviously. And if they pinched you, man, you know that you had been pinched. But most of them died. Natural causes, I think one drowned. And then we moved to Camp Hill, and the people that owned the farm, I think they took the remaining 2 geese, and I don't know whether they put them on their pond or whether they ate them, But they were, yeah, they were something else. Initially, we actually, someone had, and if you live on a farm, and I don't know if this has happened to you, Laura, but sometimes when you live on a farm, people think it's totally cool to drive by and drop off animals that they no longer want because they figured, oh, well, it's a farm. They've got room for unwanted animals. I don't know whether it's ever happened to you, but it happened to us on several occasions. All of a sudden, there would be an animal that had been dumped. And that was the case one morning. There was a very pregnant cat that had literally been dropped off on the farm. And it was really, sad. And she gave birth, and I think she had 6 kittens. And we are lucky. They do it to our neighbors, but not to us, thankfully. Yeah, it is. It happened to us a couple of times. Hi, Mary Lou. How are you this afternoon? I'm hoping you're well. So we had these kittens and we had these goslings at the same time. So we put them together in the same pen. And they got along just fine. They kind of grew up together. They didn't know that they should be attacking or eating one another. And we eventually gave the kittens away. And unfortunately, but this is nature, a raccoon got into the pen and, took a kitten. And that was the end of the kitten. I mean, raccoons are they're cute, but they can be very, very vicious also. Okay. That's my wild, wild story. I have a lot of wildlife here. Isn't this beautiful? Now, I'm trying to figure out, Laura, is this, maybe you can, do you remember what this is? Oh, okay. You have Canadian geese on your, we don't have any, well, we have sandhill cranes and ducks. And every once in a while, a flock of swans will come in and kind of rest and then, take off. That's wallpaper. Oh, from your farm. Oh, how cool. Is it in the dining room, kitchen? Yeah, they poop a lot. Yes. Yeah. I've seen, whole sidewalks are just decimated by that. Wallpaper from the farm here. Okay. Yeah, we were talking about wallpaper, how that's a thing of the past. Has anybody here ever, hi, Laura, Norma. Hi, Norma. How are things with the limo? Are you keeping busy, I hope? Oh, okay. We're supposed to go in the kitchen? Yeah. Well, yellow is kind of a kitchen-y color. We had wallpaper put in on the farmhouse, and it was one of those very old-fashioned hunting scenes type of thing. I want to put that here and then put something else here. So I'm going to do that. And we had, when we moved on the farm, Bruce was teaching on Staten Island. We talked about Staten Island. And then he had developed some games, learning games. Okay. And his background is lawyer. So when I married him, he was a lawyer. And boy, were my parents so happy. They were so, oh, my daughter's marrying a lawyer. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway. but he became a lawyer because I think I talked about this before. His father was a lawyer, his grandfather was a lawyer, and he was expected to be a lawyer. He was the firstborn, only son, and he had really, that was it. You become a lawyer, end of story. So he dutifully became a lawyer, and he went off and did his own thing, which was what he did. He was always a man that lived swimming against the tide. And then he became a special ed teacher. We talked about this earlier, Mount Loretto on Staten Island. But while he was teaching there, he developed a lot of, I guess, as I remember, learning games for kids to learn, you know. And he thought it would be really good if he could patent those games. So he decided to go back into law and kind of, I don't know. What do you think? That's kind of, that's a little. So he got back into law, but he got into a general practice just to get his feet wet again, right? That's not too crazy, is it? Hey, as Laura keeps telling me, you do you. So this would be me. It could work, right? So he went into a general practice with a guy that turned out to be pretty shady. He was a former, and as everyone says, don't email me. He was a former New York City cop who went to law school. And so Bruce joined his practice, right? So technically when I married him, he was a lawyer. Hi, how are you, lovely Malaya, and your lovely children? I have to tell you, I'm still laughing at those videos of the girls. I guess the littlest one is Vera, right? And the oldest one were dancing. This is a while back when you posted that video. And the little one was trying to copy all of the moves of the older one. And oh my gosh, it was hysterical. It was so funny. And then not too long ago was they were trying to do a tumble salt, was it, I think? And gosh, they were so funny. They were just so funny. But I can understand, boy, if you need to be uplifted or you need a good chuckle, please just check out, go to her video, her channel or whatever, and look for those videos because man, oh man, that is just a bona fide happy pill. It's just amazing. They are just so cute. One of these days, I have a video, if I can find it. Maybe I'll post it sometime later. I have a video of my grandson when, I don't know how old he was. Maybe, I want to say a year. And he goes down the stairs for the first time. And you can hear Kelly, his mom, telling him, turn around. And she's teaching him to go down the stairs backwards, right? And because he's got his little butt in a diaper, right? And he turns around and he starts going down the stairs backwards. And every once in a while he stops and he takes a look, right? Oh, wow. I hope you're okay, Arlene. You've been trapped in bed for almost 2 days. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Well, my heart goes out to you. No. So he was going down the stairs and backwards, obviously, and kept on looking. And then when he finally got to the bottom of the stairs, he does this little dance. Very proud of himself. Stairs are scary, right? When you've got kids. For sure. The interesting thing about living in Florida is that there are no stairs. I mean, for the most part, in Florida. Most houses are single story in Florida. At least that's my experience. So most people don't have to contend with stairs, which is a good thing. I can't do stairs, so it's a good thing I don't have to. See, I put this tape on the back of this, and I'm telling you, this stuff is, I can't. Well, it's funny. I mean, I had two total knee replacements, and one was a total failure. The guy put the wrong size prosthetic in, and it was just a disaster. And so I can't do stairs. But it's funny. I dream that I'm running up and down stairs. It's the weirdest thing. I actually dream. That was my knee now. Oh, this was so long ago. It's just, it is what it is. It's one of those things that you deal with. And I blame myself because I picked the wrong guy, I picked a guy, if you ever have something like this done, my only recommendation is pick somebody that's all they do. They only do knee replacements, and usually they do knee and hip, and that's all they do all day long. And they do hundreds of them. So they're really, really, really good at it. I chose an orthopedic surgeon who maybe did a knee, maybe one a month, if that many. He was mostly an arthroscopic guy. And I had seen him for arthroscopic, knee surgeries for torn meniscus and such. And I asked him about a total knee. I said, do you do total knees? And he said, oh, yeah, sure, I do them. Well, yeah, not well. So that was my bad. I picked the wrong guy. Oh, shoot. I thought about suing him, but no one really wanted to take the case. They just, apparently this is a pretty common occurrence. And he doesn't do the measuring, really. Someone else does the measuring. Anyway, it's happened a long time ago. And the only good thing the guy ever did for me was when I was getting my handicap sticker, he ticked off permanently disabled. So thanks to him. If you want to thank him for that. Okay, now this stuff, I'm telling you right now, literally, I can't get it off. It's like, it is wicked, but it's great for this. And you know what? Now, hey, I like that. I think that looks pretty cool. You got the little fray thing going over here. What do you think? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a mistake that I made. So when it came time to have the other knee replaced, I went to a guy that all he did were knees and hips. No problems. The only problem that guy and was he had no bedside manner at all. He was cold and distant, and you know what? But it's nice if a doctor has a good bedside manner. But you know what? That doesn't make for a better surgery. So that's all right. I like that. I think that came out, and those colors kind of. Yeah, I mean, Laura, I heard you talking about being aware of colors, and that's what I have now become more aware of. Initially, again, I'm really new, like 3 years, maybe 4, and you would think that I would have been aware of color sooner, but now I am kind of somewhat aware of color. Probably could be a little bit more aware of color, but yeah, I have, I occasionally I will look at a color wheel. I even have, if I can get it real handy, maybe I'll show you. Well, it's not handy, but I have a color wheel that I refer to, and it's from a guy by the name of Bob Burridge. He's a very interesting artist that pops on occasionally, and he has what he calls his accent colors, and he has a simplified color wheel. Oh, look. Whoa. And Bob Burridge, Goof Proof Color Wheel. And it's pretty cool because he has, you pick your dominant color, and then you have your vocal point color, and then you have your 2 spice colors. And so I have used this occasionally when I have attempted to paint. And so he's basically looking at a palette of just 4 colors. And so from this, I've kind of developed my own kind of palette when I just kind of take a Prismacolor and put color combinations together that appeal to me. And I will refer to that. But this, this guy's pretty interesting, and he's got some really cool stuff. So I sent away for his Goof Proof color wheel. But this is really formal, when you start. But I think it's, a good lesson. I mean, I know that if the colors are next to one another, you get mud, I think. I'm still I probably call it, yeah, I get a lot of either baby poop, right? That special kind of baby poop color, or just mud. Yeah. I'm an expert in the various shades of mud. Yes, that happens more times than not. That is for sure. You got that right. But I sometimes refer to that. Yeah. So I just, and that was, wow. That I could put my hand on that is pretty remarkable in and of itself. Even though I know I shared with you my dream box. Speaking of this dream box, I actually saw somebody, and I'm digressing. I actually saw somebody online that made a dream box like storage unit, and they made it out of 4. Oops, where's my hands? 4 bookcases, and it was brilliant. They had 4 bookcases that were the same size, right? So follow me. So they took 2 bookcases and they put brackets along, I can't find my hands, brackets along the top, so they would stay together. And then they bought a whole load of casters, big heavy duty wheels, caster like wheels, right? And they put them on the bottom of all of the bookcases. And then the 2 outside bookcases, they put hinges, right? And it was so simple. And the one woman said she did it for under $200. It was amazing. So you had the 2 main bookcases, and then you had the 2. You think if I could find a piece of paper, I could draw this for you, but there's no paper here. Just kidding. Here. So And of course I can't draw, but just picture this. So you had 2 bookcases, all right? And then blah, 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 blah. And then caster, I think she had 4 casters on each of these bookcases. And then she had 2 more bookcases that were the same size, right, as these bookcases. 4 casters, hinge, 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 hinge. And they folded up. So they were just as wide as whatever the width of these 2 bookcases were. These folded in on them. Very much like this dream box. The only difference is this dream box has like a 3rd wing that goes out. But it was brilliant. And she used bookcases that were 12 inches deep. And it was brilliant. And it was a YouTube, and there's several of them. So you could probably go out and, I know, you could go out and find it, but I thought it was brilliant. And being 12 inches deep, she could, get totes or whatever she was using it not for crafting, but you could obviously, put stuff on those shelves to accommodate crafting goods. And let's see, I have 4 books. Yes. But I thought it was absolutely very much doable. And she did it. I mean, she just had a power tool and it was a woman, which I always love to see. Women in tools. Yes. I think that's an awesome thing. Having been one of my many 14 jobs, having worked as a carpenter, obviously a carpenter assistant for another carpenter. I've actually done aluminum siding, and I have replaced windows. I even done the old windows that have the weight. I keep on losing my hands. I talk with my hands a lot, with the weight and sash. You probably have those type of windows in the farmhouse, I would assume, Laura, right? And oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, check out Malia. Check out those. Look for those videos because it's pretty. It's brilliant. The design is not complicated and very, very, very practical. Hi, Shelly Lynn. Aloha. I got the napkins through Defy the other day, so thank you, and thank you for the little extras in there. Those were awesome. The diagram of the kimono folding, that was very sweet of you. I really appreciate that. So I'm working on this. Is all the stuff that I received from lovely Laura in a surprise happy mail, and so I'm now finding places for all of these beautiful bits and pieces. And I decided to come online and kind of share them with you, or my process. And as you can see, it's rather messy. I love this card. And it's interesting. They have Camden Mountains. And I tried to peel it and I kind of screwed it up. So you have a beautiful pen and ink drawing of Camden Mountains. And then when you flip it over, it has Much Ado About Nothing, which is the Shakespeare play. So I'm assuming Camden Mountains, does that have something to, no, that ship, it would not be Shakespearean time. Anyway, so I'm going to have to do a flippy thing here because I kind of find this Much Ado About Nothing an interesting backdrop. The other things that Laura gave me, which I'm not sure how we got beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at all this. There's a whole bunch of the jingle jangles, which I think I can just clip on, right? When I'm done, I will put these on. Look at this. What do you call this? Has a name, doesn't it? This stuff. Is there an official name for this? Hi, Aunt Beck. And I got some more of that stuff here. And that has a name, I'm assuming. I like this. And I might maybe glue that as a fringe, like the fringe on top. So I've got a lot of bits of things that I'm not going to be able to. Oh, geez. You ready? And there's more. At Brooks, I learned to call it fuzzy ball trim. Okay. Ta-da. I hope I'm opening this up. I love these tins. I bought a whole bunch of them. Ta-da. Are you ready? Look at that. Will you look at that? Look at that. Did you make that? I made some paper. I love those. Look at all these. Look at all this goodness. Now, is this when this is rolled up, is this to be turned into a bead-like thing? Eyelash yarn. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, I guess. Well, you can't see me, but oh, I got another like a headbandy thing also, like a belly band in Laura's package. And look at this. These are so cool. So, oh, eyeballs. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see this, Laura. This is oh wow. So what I was thinking is I'm not much of a sewer, but I could just literally physically sew the buttons on the various pages, as many as I could. I could just sew them on the pages. So my goal is to get as much of all of this goodness in this Laura journal. Oh, wow. This is such neat stuff. You know, you just collect stuff, right? And it's just so much fun to go through. I made a Lizzie tassel, and it was just Bobo bead. Okay. All right, Ellie. All right. And I made it out of, it's the, just hang on 1 second. I'll show you my attempt at making a tassel. Sounds good. And this is so crude and rude. I didn't have the stuff, right? So this is the Dollar Tree hemp, and it is the most unrefined rope that you can possibly imagine. And, well, you know, pop tops, washers, nuts, aluminum can stuff. One of my favorite beers. If you drink beer, I highly recommend it. It's called Flat Tire. It's a Belgian wheat beer. Flat Tire. It's delish. A couple of washers. So this was my attempt. Yeah. It just makes a lot of noise, which is, you can't see that, right? I'm always out of. So that's my attempt at, a couple of zippers. I don't sew. Why I have these, I have no idea. I thought maybe I must have been thinking I'm putting a zipper in. They're kind of cool, but I can't imagine me putting a zipper in anything, but anyway. Ha 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 ha. Ah, yes. Yeah. I have a lot to say about that, but anyway. Can I just say one thing about hemp? And I don't want to offend anybody, but the hemp that you can smoke, all I can say is by now I really thought it would be completely legal. Just saying. That's all. I mean, I know in some states it is. I get that, but I'm just saying. Let's see. Anyway, that's my. I don't know. Yeah. So I thought I would share that with you, and that's just one of those jingly jangly things that I made. All right. So, and here's some more stuff from Laura. I mean, it's just, I think I showed you that. So now I'm just going to try to get it all in here. So I'm going to continue with, let's see. Again, I thought I wanted to keep this here. So let's take this. I've got crap everywhere. Oh, can I just show you something real quick? I have that set of Arteza acrylic paints, and they come in this really big box, like so, right? And I didn't like that because it had all those plastic trays when you're looking for stuff. And I'm so anal that I literally had them, in numerical order, and anyway. So what I did was I cut a little piece off this little tape and put it on the top here, right? And I was amazed. Oh, but look, they all fit in this tiniest tote. And I can see, isn't that awesome? I can just go, I can say, oh, I think I want a green. And so I was just so thrilled to do that and get rid of that big box and just be able to look down and see the color. I thought I would paint the top, and I thought, well, that's stupid. So that's what I did. So I'm very thrilled. And when I'm done with the colors, I just, all right, I don't need that color. And they all fit in here. So I was just thrilled. Just saying. So that's something that I work on. I'll put those over here. So I think I'm going to throw a little paint down here, but I want to kind of keep those. So let's see how that goes. Oh, I've been doing some deli printing. No, jelly deli printing. I'm not, I kind of use the jelly plate as just a pad to print. You know what I mean? I'm not really doing anything fancy with it, but just to, have sheets of deli paper that have color that I can use in the my iCAD book. So I'm just gonna, let's see. This is an old tester model glue paints. Remember those? I remember when they were not acrylic. I remember when they were where you had to clean them up with turpentine. I probably want something probably a little bit more opaque, not as transparent, but that's okay. I can come in with something else. I just wanted to. Yeah, I'm not liking that. it's not dark. I don't know what I was thinking. I probably should have put down the blue. Okay. Plan B. If I add blue to that, blue and yellow is going to give me quick blue and yellow quiz. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm sure it's. Will that be purple? Oh, green. Okay, green's good. I saw Shelly's your video on the challenge, right? The tag challenge. When was that? I watched that sometime. I don't remember. I know I saw that. I thought that was really cool. How you make a page from you just one page from one magazine, correct? And it came out really beautiful. Oh, I did see her. I did see Cage Fish's treasure boxes. Yeah, those are just, oh my gosh. I miss Cage Fish. I mean, I know she's still around, but you know what I mean. Do you remember when she used to come on Sundays at 2:00 for all the football wives? I miss that. I mean, I've learned so much, oh, that's kind of pretty. Yeah. Well, we'll see if I can't. I don't know. Can you hear the siren? Probably not. Yeah, I'm not so good at this, but we'll see. So what else is new? Oh, the algorithms. Is that YouTube algorithms? I'm glad I don't really understand much of that because I'm so tiny. I'm so small. It doesn't really. But I know that it just seems to be so random that they change the number of subscribers you have. Sometimes, I don't know, I don't even know whether they're showing the number of subscribers some people have anymore, you know? You know what I noticed, and I'm making a real mess. I'm probably going to end up painting all over this, but you know what I noticed last night? I'm sorry, that glare is really bad, but on Mary's channel, yeah, this was, I love it. It's a totally random, probably never one of a kind. Because I know Mary has talked about YouTube taking away subscribers. I mean, she's mentioned that on several occasions. And last night when I was watching her, I looked at the subscribers and oh yeah, that would be, yeah. I mean, I agree. Carla was on somebody's channel. I can't remember now who, because I had commented about how much I had learned from her about collage. And I had been a Patreon, and she would have like lessons on collage. And she said to me in the chat, she said, I remember some of your collages. And she said to me, were they my tutorials or lessons? She asked me whether they were helpful or not. And I said, yeah, they were very helpful. I had shared one of those collages in the Happy Mail that I had sent Mary, but I don't know that Cage Fish was there. But anyway, again, composition, I mean, I love glue books because you don't have to. I mean, you do pay attention to some of the composition in a glue book, but ha ha ha, Shelley, you're so funny. Uh, well, I have had. Well, I shouldn't say, but Hawaiian gold. Um, and not that's not coffee, folks. Um, Getting back to Mary's subscribers, the other night it said that she had. Are you ready for this? 901K subscribers. Now K is 1,000, correct? That's what I thought. So K is 1,000, correct? I don't think Mary has 901,000 subscribers. If she did, she would be over the moon. I got this ridiculous thing in my. I got a pop-up notification that I got to get rid of. I thought it would go away, but it didn't. So now I can read all your chat. Okay. Is that correct? Right? I don't think Mary has 901 subscribers. I wish she did. But anyway, I have 253. So that's good. You got to start somewhere, right, folks? Well, I'm not so sure I'm happy with that, but let's see. Should I continue? Well, maybe I can just glue some stuff down at this point. Yeah, I screwed that up, but it's okay. I know what I'm going to do. All right. Plan B. Gosh. This stuff is gorgeous. I can just kind of put this in around. So I can tell you a YouTube story. Many years ago, I started making YouTube videos before anybody, before all of this teaching virtually. I started turning my history lectures into YouTube videos, right? And I would post them, for my students. And I didn't even know you could subscribe to a YouTube channel. Oh yeah, that's from the model, and you buy those little model glues, So one day there was a student that said that he had watched a video that I had, that's not too bad, that I had made. And I said, well, how did you do that? Because I didn't do something with it. And he said, I subscribed to your channel. And I went, what? What channel? He said, well, you have a YouTube channel. And I said, I do? So that's how I learned about the YouTube channel. So I would make these videos and, boring. I mean, but the kids liked them because, again, they could kind of do them. This tissue paper came from Laura. This is all of this goodness that I'm surrounded myself with is compliments of Laura, the girl from Jersey. And so That's how I learned I had a YouTube channel, from one of my former students. I don't know. It was my former students that set up my IG account. I would not have had an IG account if it weren't for them. Now, these guys were all seniors. Well, not the kid that subscribed to my YouTube channel. I had him in 8th grade American history, and I made all these history videos. And so I would assign them to watch the YouTube video. And they were not exciting. They were basically my PowerPoints with me talking. So it was like a lecture with PowerPoints. But I was the only one in my school that was using that kind of technology. And then I would come on with public service announcements, and they really kind of, they thought that was really cool. And again, that group just graduated, so I was very close to that group. The other thing I did, I got involved with an organization called 3D Game Lab, and I don't even know whether they're still around, but I went through all of their training where you turn your class into a series of quests. So I took my history units and turned them into a series of quests, and the kids had to earn badges as they went through. So I had a whole series of quests on the Civil War. One on battles, one on weapons, one on the advancement in medicine. Believe it or not, amputation was a huge advancement in medicine during the Civil War. And they had to do a whole bunch of different things. They either had to read an article or they had to watch a video and answer questions. And then they would have to submit all of their answers to me. And then I would approve it or not approve it. And if they earned so many badges, and this was the carrot stick, if they passed the quest by going through all of these steps, they would be exempt from the regular test. That was the carrot. And they loved it. And honestly, completing the quest was far more work than they would have had to go through if they had just taken the regular, the old standard multiple choice essay question. It was a lot more work for me because I approved all the quests. Well, most of them. Some of them I had it set up that they could go, if they did it, they could go straight through. But, and the thing that drove them crazy was I would send one back if they had not used proper capitalization. As a former English teacher, I expected them to capitalize like the word America, right? Or capitalize somebody's name. And so I said to them, how many times should I send something back before they basically can't proceed? I asked them. And they all said to me, well, 3 strikes and you're out. So they said, well, if I had to send back the same quest 3 times for basically the same issues, then that kid should be not be able to be exempt for that test. And then they could do it again the next time. And but that was their rule. So 3D Game Lab owns all of those quests. And it was a paid subscription. And I paid for it the first year, and then the school picked up the tab. And but the kids really, they enjoyed it. It's all about, getting the information to them in a different format. And I'd like to go back and see if I couldn't sign into 3D Game Lab and see if I can't. Now, when I made those quests, they were open for any other teacher. So if you were a member of 3D Game Lab and you were looking for, a lot of them were math and science. And I don't know, maybe you guys are already aware, and a lot of corporations are using badges. It's the badge thing is just like the old Eagle Scout thing. You know, you earn a badge, and a lot of the corporations, at least a while ago, were, you know, you could earn a badge. If you learned a certain skill, say at Microsoft, you would earn a badge, and then you would have literally a virtual backpack where you could store your badges. So the theory behind all of this is when if you change jobs or you went somewhere else, a potential new employer could literally look at the badges that you had earned and what you had gone through to earn that badge. But I don't even know whether that's still a thing. Let me take a look at public school. Here is not the, yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, my brother lives in St. Thomas, and he said the schools there are just horrible. I would imagine Hawaii is a little bit better. Let's see. Small private school, but not the most organized. It's change, yeah. I'm sure things change every day. Because the situation changes every day. I am, my heart goes out to the students, the teachers, the parents. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you said that's what you said the other night, Aunt Beck, that your sister is giving it about, what, 2 weeks before the you know what hits the fan. Yeah, I'm wondering that too. At the school that I worked at, now they went online and they produced this beautiful video to share with all the parents of all. I'm really liking this kind of going together thing. Look, this kind of all of the improvements that they've made to make everybody safer. Or they didn't say, they said safer. But it's the social distancing part. Again, I've said this before. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Florida schools, and they are, at least the school that I taught at, there are no windows in the classroom at all. Came down with the virus. Yeah, the school, the private school that I taught in, there were no windows in any of the classrooms. There were 2 doors. And when the kids exit one door, they actually exit outside. And then the hallways are enclosed, but they're outside. You know what I'm saying? It's not like your New York hall. It's not like a New York school where you're going into a building. I mean, you're going into a classroom, but there's no windows, which I found really hard to get used to, because when I taught in New York, my one whole wall was of windows, and now according to the school, they said that they put in all new ventilation systems, and that everyone was going to be required to wear a mask. And the teachers were going to wipe down the desks in between classes. So the teacher's supposed to keep an eye and greet the kids as they come into the classroom. The teacher's supposed to take attendance, and the teachers are supposed to wipe down the desks in between classes. Wow, that's a lot to do. They did extend the passing time between classes, and so they've extended the school day, I don't know, by 10 minutes. I mean, this is all public knowledge, but again, it's not going to be easy. And I have to say, well, I won't, it's not appropriate, so I won't say it. Anyway, it's not going to be easy for everybody involved. And I guess what's going to happen as schools, as hand sanitizer, yeah. I think they said they put hand sanitizer in all of the classrooms, and they have them in the hallway. And hi, Roy, how you doing? How are things in New York? Is it hot? Is it hot in the city? I'm sure it is. And they have, you know, water fountains, where people can fill water, not water fountains which you can drink out of, but water bottle filling stations, I think. Yeah. But the kids have to use the hand sanitizer, right? Just before I called in and said to the sub coordinator, just before all of this really blossomed, I guess, I said, you know what? I'd like you to take me off the sub list. Yeah, I just don't think I need to be subbing. And like a week later, all the schools shut down, right? But one of the last classes I subbed in, a young student got up and went over to where the tissues were and the hand sanitizer was, and blew his nose, and he started to walk away. And I said, gee, do you mind, could you use the hand sanitizer? And he gave me this most disgusted look. And he said, well, this is all a hoax, And I said, well, whatever. Just use the hand sanitizer. And I figured, oh boy. Oh boy. So you have that too, right? Anyway. It was a good time to retire. Actually, I didn't work in New York City. I taught in southwestern New York, about 40 miles east of Lake Erie, about an hour south of Buffalo. And then I moved to Florida. I grew up in Wantor, Long Island. But I never taught in the city. And the school I taught in upstate New York was a very, 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 very tiny school district. Average graduating class was 70, 75. Oh, you're in Lynbrook. Okay. All right. My older brother lived in Lynbrook for a while. Yeah. Now, Lynbrook is considered Queens, right? Oh. Well, I'm glad you asked, because I really like this glue stick, and it is super sticky. It's Amazon Basic. And I'm it's, in my opinion, it's a real sticky glue stick. Yeah. Amazon, has a whole line of what they call Amazon Basic products. And like they have Amazon Basic batteries. And, well, if I could find any, look, if I can get to it. They even have an Amazon Basic mouse. So I'm a fan of some of the Amazon Basic products. But this glue, I bought like a pack of 12, and it is serious sticky. So thanks for asking. What do you think? That kind of, I'll take the glare off. I don't know if I can get the, what do you think? It's not that bad, huh? Yeah. Afterwards, no. It's not sticky at all. It's sticky going down, but it's not sticky once it's down, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, basic wipes. Yeah. Well, I buy baby wipes by the case, so. And so I think I'm just going to do this because I kind of like the little overhang for this, right? Well, I need a little piece here, and I think this color that I ended up with, and that could be cleaned up, but I'm kind of not mad with this. Not angry at it, or whatever that expression used to be. Are any of you interested in expressions and how expressions come about? Because I'm always fascinated, and I always wonder where that came. Like for the last couple of years, the farewell salutation is "Have a good one," and I often wondered, okay, have a good one, and I wonder where that originated, because there was a period of time that's what. Well, they still say it. Have a good one. And instead of goodbye, it was have a good one. I actually tried to find out where that originated, and I was not successful. I did find some place where it was used, which I was surprised at. I used to play World of Warcraft, and that expression, have a good one, was used in World of Warcraft, which I thought was interesting. World of Warcraft is a subscription-only online game where, I don't know, 12 million people play. More than 12 million people. You actually have to put in what part of the world you live in. And I ended up playing it because it was part of the training for 3D Game Lab. They wanted us to subscribe and play it and analyze it through teachers' eyes. And then I kind of got hooked. And there's so much educational stuff going on in that game, it just blew my mind, including an enormous amount of reading and following directions. There's a whole economy. And you have to learn about trading and becoming gaining a skill, and then you have battles and you get points and you can create your own characters. I can't tell you how many times I screwed up because I didn't read the directions. And how many times as a teacher have you said to your students, read the directions? And so that's where I found out. I'm reading about Aunt Beck's new journey. So that's what Scott's mom is keeping you in the area. Yeah. That's tough. So from what I understand, he's working until October and then severance through March. So that's kind of where you're at from what I understood you said the other day. Oh, okay. All right. Was this totally out of the blue? I mean, you said, it's interesting. I noticed the other night, and please, I don't mean to, I make any assumptions, but the other night you seemed so upbeat and relieved. And that's, I mean, it came through to me loud and clear. And it was like you kind of sensed that something was going to happen. You didn't really know what it was. And then when it was finally revealed, basically, then you were just totally relieved that you had a name for this dread and now you could move on. Am I misinterpreting that? At least that's the sense I got. Yeah, okay. Well, I could just, it came through to me loud and clear in your stream. Yeah. I mean, I can understand. I mean, I can understand the relief, but I also can understand, um, the anxiety. But as I said in my message to you, if anybody can get through, I mean, my money's on you and Scott for sure. You are two of the most resourceful people I have ever met. Um, and I mean, I love Scott's, name or whatever, primate with tools, I think it is, which I love. I think it's hysterical. I'm just reading through the chat. Tool using primate. Okay. All right. I had that ass backwards, which is me. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Shelley, you all. Yeah. Now, is your husband still painting? Was he doing like not artistic painting, but what do you call it? Industrial painting? Is he still able to do that, or is that going to? Yeah. Well, I can imagine. I mean, wasn't tourism like it for Maui? Well, all the islands, there's no real industry there. I mean, the pineapple. I mean, if you want to call the pineapple an industry, that's been long gone, right? Okay. Nothing to do with the COVID-19. Oh, that would be good. A Jack and Jane handyman team. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. I thought that, oh, wow. So they're not going to go ahead with that. That makes sense. Yeah, I had a friend that started a handyman, thing after he was let go at Holy Trinity. And I think he was, he called himself, that guy, when people, would say that expression, well, that guy, and so that's what he named his handyman business, that guy. Oh, wow. Has he always did he just join the painters union? Just, I don't know, fortuitously? And he just happens to be part of that union? Or did he join as soon as he started painting industrial? That's really interesting. Yeah. That's that's crazy. And I've done a lot of I don't know, would you want to call it industrial painting? I'm not in a painters union, but um, one summer I wanted to. I got a job working at Holy Trinity, and I honestly thought I'd be putting together furniture because I love putting furniture together. And they were building the whole junior high, and I figured, oh, look, there'll be all those bookcases and things to put together. And so I showed up the first day of work, and my boss and good friend Dave, uh, he handed me a roller pan, and pointed to a 5-gallon bucket of beige. And I looked at him, and he said, yep, you're going to be painting the whole school. So I painted every friggin' classroom, every office building, every bathroom, locker room, boys and girls, library, doors. I had to paint all of the doors, and they had to be painted with, um, enamel paint that you have to clean up with turpentine. And so I painted the entire school all summer long. And I would close my eyes at night, and all I would see was the color beige. And that kind of fixed me of painting again. I mean, I used to kind of not mind it, but that was just overkill. All right. So I kind of like this page. And Laura, this has been so much fun. And I cut up this whole bag. So I think I can glue that here, right? And I have my cloth roosters. Huh? And here's some of this is my extent of jelly plate printing, right? This is it. It's not, but I love deli paper. So I think I'm going to stick that there. All right. Yeah. Okay. And let's see where that takes us. I think I'll use the Amazoni glue stick so you can see how well it works. So it's not super wet, as you can see, but it is super tacky. Use it as fly paper, right? Let's see. It's not bad. Not too many wrinkles, huh? I don't think it's a bad product. Let's see. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's a nice blue. That's the it was here. Oh, the other thing, you can hear that jingle? That's another thing I got from Laura. This another bag full of goodies. And I don't know. These are going to be harder to incorporate. So I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do that. But look at all this stuff. I mean, really? Oh, Laura, you just have well, I could go on the outside, right? Some more big buttons. Look at that. Yeah. I love my gears. I love steampunk. Yeah. Let's listen to that. Doesn't that sound good? I know I don't have to include it all. I like to give myself some little challenges. Obviously, I can't include it all, but it would be fun if I could. This would be a bit of a challenge, but this is a gorgeous. Look at this key. Look at that key. That is just a gorgeous key. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, as they would say on Long Island. I think it was pretty funny, those of us who got there was an Eileen sighting on Friday. The rare Eileen appeared before our very eyes on Friday. And I can remember someone made a comment about how Eileen sounded like my New York accent. And I don't know anybody, but she was very, very insulted, extremely insulted. And she made it very clear that she was not from New York, that her accent was a Philadelphia accent. So I thought that was pretty funny. But that was pretty funny. Hi, Kim. How are you, Kimberly? I know. Now, I wonder whether she will ever appear again. I mean, I don't know whether she was. I know it was frustrating at first because she couldn't get on, and I'm sure she was very frustrated, and that was pretty amazing. Um, Hi, Gilly. How are you? Eileen is amazing. She is just this well of information. I don't think there's anything that she doesn't know. There's not a single question that's asked of her that she doesn't have the answer. And I think she probably owns every craft supply um, that's available. Uh, I have been enabled by her. Oh man, all good stuff though. Everything I have learned about through her and that I have bought, I am not sorry that I've made that purchase. I didn't know it was supposed to look the same on the other side, Roy. I thought that the other side was kind of a hot mess and no one looked at the other side. Wow. I never knew that. Um, really, they are supposed to be. They only look in, oh, contests. Okay. All righty. I did crewel work. Um, and I bought those crewel kits and with all the different stitches and yeah. I had one kit that I carried around for, oh, I'm going to say 30 years, and I finally gave it away to Goodwill. I figured if I hadn't completed it in 30 years, I was not going to be completing it. So it went to the Goodwill. So I'm hoping someone bought it. It was a really neat one. It was birch trees blowing in the wind, and the canvas was two different colors. So part of the canvas was blue, and the other part was, I don't know, whatever the ground would have been. And it was pretty cool. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, that's good enough. That is some serious blue. Blue on blue. I love you. I think I'm going to stick that bit there and how is everybody doing? By the way, Eileen is right. New York and Philly, different accents. Yep. Absolutely. I'm going to say pretty close attitude, though. Maybe. See, Laura, I don't think you have a real strong Jersey accent, but I don't know whether they're. My daughter-in-law is from New Jersey. I want to say South Orange. I don't think she's got much accent because I don't see them very often. I'm very sad about that. So normally this time of year, I would go up to Cape Cod and spend about a week with them, and that's just not happening this year. So I'm kind of bummed out about that. Just to be able to see them, or just to get away from the heat, and just they've got a lovely house in Cape Cod, and that's the home in Cape Cod. Or I guess instead of having kids, they bought a house in Cape Cod. Oh, I like that. That's not too bad, huh, folks? Yeah. To go the trifecta. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, as you know, when I shared with you in my house journal, I lived on Staten Island for a while, and a lot of people refer to Staten Island as the armpit of New York City. And then there was another interesting, I mean, this is a long time ago, that people were contemplating if Disney had been given Staten Island to develop, and what it would have been like if Disney had developed Staten Island instead of Staten Islanders developing Staten Island. Staten Island was 400 working farms before they built the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. It was just basically the fresh fruit and vegetable garden for the city, and then they built the bridge. And here's a useless fact that Vanderbilt was born and raised on Staten Island. And he's buried on Staten Island. And as a young man, when he was about 15 years old, he bought a rowboat, and he would buy up fresh fruits and vegetables from farmers on Staten Island, and he would row over to New York City, and he would sell the fresh produce in New York City. And the rest is history. Can you hear my cat meowing in the background? He was a Moravian, which is a Dutch Protestant religion. My ex-husband started out as a Moravian and then converted to Judaism. So Vanderbilt's buried at the Moravian Church Cemetery on Staten Island. Fascinating guy. Was illiterate, but that didn't make him any less of a shrewd businessman. I mean, his practices were obviously ruthless. And the big names, the old rich, the old rich, the people that had money for generations, not the nouveau riche as that he was, criticized him for his business practices. And he basically, his attitude is, where do you think I learned them? What did Roy say? Absolutely candy permanent glue stick from Amazon Basics. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think that, yeah, the Midwest accent, I think that's the accent that, they teach people. What did Roy, I'm missing what Roy said. Are you being funny? Much of South Staten Island is the economic enormous land. Yes, it is. Kills, right? Kills, right? KILLS. There's another word to it. Something kills. Landfill. Mm-hmm. Yep. But we lived in South Beach, 40 McLaughlin Street. And we were kind of under the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. And that beach was so polluted. It didn't look polluted, but if you walked barefoot in the sand, you would end up with clumps of black tar on the bottom of your feet. we talking about Staten Island smelling or Jersey? Because I think Jersey has an odor along the Jersey Turnpike, not where you are, Laura, but and I think it's from natural. I mean, but Florida, has that very damp, musky smell. Rotten eggs, sulfur. At Padre Island, yeah, okay, that would make sense, right? From all the oil spills, I guess it gets, I guess, permeated into the sand. But we used to take a walk, and then yeah, and you know what removes that tar better than anything else? Baby wipes. That will remove that tar right away. But yeah, I was shocked the first time I experienced that. Having been a Long Island girl and going to Jones's Beach, the sand was not filled with tar. Yeah, seaweed. I have never been to an IKEA. Am I missing out on something? I don't know. I've never been. The closest one is up in Orlando, and I don't know whether it's worth driving. I mean, nowadays it's not. I mean, I have a Hobby Lobby that's 2 miles from here, and I never go. And my Hobby Lobby never seems to have the sales that the other people that experience at Hobby Lobby. I don't. That doesn't really go at all. That kind of goes, right? We could have a. I'll think about that. I'm kind of liking the jelly deli paper, the deli jelly paper. That went out. All right. There's so much more. This is the gift that keeps on giving. But I wanted to find that little person. I found something here. Thank you guys for being here. This is so sweet of you. Again, Laura's the one. I know Laura's probably tired of me thanking her, but sorry, I have to. I have to thank her. I really love gluing down fabric. I keep on hitting my phone over here. I'm doing that fabric swap with Colleen and Kathy. And I think it's up to 25 now. Okay, I won't thank you. This is the last time, I promise. I think it's up to 25, but she said it could go up to maybe 40. And I got some fabric from Laura, but Laura, the fabric that I cut up only because it wasn't 12 inches long. Just want you to know. There's a bigger piece of fabric that is kind of like that ruffly kind of lumpy stuff. I'm going to cut that into strips. I also, whoever gets, they said they're just going to distribute that stuff, right? I bought some Timmy fabric a while ago. Don't ask me why. I don't sew. I don't have a sewing machine, but I bought some Timmy fabric, which I've cut into 12-inch, 1-inch strips. So I've got right now I have 22 strips, and I'm going to have to make some more strips, but I've used everything I have. But you can send duplicates. It doesn't, I mean, I'm not going to have to do duplicates because I don't have fabric like some of you, but I've got fabric enough. I can, I'm sure I have a pair of old jeans somewhere that I could easily get rid of. See, I like that. That's a nice splash of color at the bottom. So I'm going to stick that there. I bought Laura said something about getting Timmy's fussy cut scissors. I don't know whether these are the fussy cut scissors, but I bought a set of 3, and they're supposed to have Teflon on them. And these are all gunked up because of that super sticky double-sided tape. But I didn't realize when I bought them, these, be careful when you buy, I mean, they're great scissors, but the edges are serrated. And so that's a kind of a, I don't, I didn't realize they were serrated. So, yeah, WD-40. Yep, I love WD-40. Yep. I have a can under my sink. That's one of those products that you can use for a plethora of issues, from squeaky chairs to if you get condensation underneath your distributor cap in your car, if you spray WD-40, it will displace, it'll evaporate the liquid. I just know that. I've done some mechanical work. I once replaced all of the ignition wires in my, I had a little Sunbeam Alpine sports car once upon a time. And I needed new distributor wires. So this is before, I want you to know, this is before Google. So I couldn't Google it. But what I did was I got under the hood and I looked at how they were put together. And I took them off. And I went to the auto store. And I said, I need the parts to make 6 of these. And they gave me the parts to make 6 of them. And I went home and I reinstalled and put in 3 new set of ignition wires. And the car turned on. So I also put a whole new exhaust system, but that wasn't that difficult. The hard part about that was getting underneath the car, But that's all I've ever done in terms of auto mechanic repair type of things. I once took a course. It was pretty cool. It was at the community college, and it was called Powder Puff Mechanics. Great class. It really was. Basic stuff, and it was obviously very sexist. I mean, I'm just saying because they called it powder puff. But, it was the thought behind it that counted. And it was good. I mean, it was just basic stuff that I kind of already knew, I just wanted to see. But it was this kind of maintenance stuff and how to change a tire, and all of that fun stuff. I mean, everyone should know how to change a tire, or at least know where the spare tire is, of course. See, now look how nicely that glue put down that fabric, right? It's good stuff, I'm telling you, folks. I remember once I had a Volkswagen Bug. I mean, who didn't? Just saying. I went in to get gas. And I'll really date myself. This is when gas was 30 cents a gallon. Yeah, I do call AAA. Well, that's who I call now, Aunt B. Absolutely. I'm not, this body done changing tires. And my battery actually went dead because I hadn't used it in so long. It was parked in my garage, but I hadn't been out in so long that the battery was dead. So I called AARP's version of AAA. Anyway, so I pulled into this gas station with my VW, and the guy, he was a bit of a smart ass, and he wanted to, oh God, what did he want to check? Oh, I can't remember now. He wanted to check something. It was something that the Volkswagen doesn't have. Let me check that. And I kind of laughed. I said, no, Volkswagen doesn't have that. Was it air cooled? Does it have a radiator? I can't remember. I feel so stupid now. I started to tell you that story. Now I can't remember what he wanted to check being a jerk because I knew the Volkswagen didn't have one of those to check. But I had a common gear, and I had a couple of boys in my class, and they're affectionately known as gearheads because they're really into cars, and they know everything about. Oh my gosh, that's not good. Caught on fire on the bridge. Oh, wow. They are air cooled, yes. So he wanted to check the water. That was it. And I said, no, nice try. Um, the other thing that Volkswagen would do is they would attach the windshield wiper pump, right? They would attach that to for the pressure, they would attach that to the spare tire. Okay, an auto mechanic. You know a Ghia. Okay, yeah. Body by Carmen Ghia. And, it was a Volkswagen sports car. My father worked for a cargo airline, Seaboard World, which is no longer in existence. But he bought the Common Gear from the factory in Germany. And it was a little tiny. I mean, it's a two-seater, really. And so that was my first car. And but these young men who were in my class were really into cars. They had never heard of a Common Gear, so they were pretty impressed when they immediately Googled it and went online, and they were pretty impressed. But it was a little sports car, and the interior was by the Italian designer, right? Ghia was the Italian designer, as I recall, if I'm getting that right. I used to date a guy, and we used to go on sports car rallies every weekend because that's all we could afford to do. He had bought an Austin Healey 3000, and he had a whopping car payment that financially strapped him. His car payment was $90 a month. But so we go on these sports car rallies, and which would cost $5. Is anybody familiar with sports car rallies? Oh, wow. Restored one. That is so cool, Aunt Beck. Okay. Goodbye, Mina. Thank you so much for stopping in. And you would show up in a parking lot somewhere, designated parking lot, and then they would hand you a list of instructions, right? Including how fast you should go. Oh, you had a red one, Eileen? Oh, hi, Eileen. Yeah. Mine was tan with a dark brown convertible top. And that was the first car. My dad gave it to me after he put, I don't know how many thousands and thousands of miles on it, but man, so I learned, that was the first car I learned to drive when that was a standard shift. And so I didn't own an automatic car until like recently. Hi, Colleen. How are you? Good afternoon. Eileen, we were talking about the Eileen sighting that occurred on Friday and how exciting it was to see you in person. And it was pretty cool. And hopefully there will be more appearances. Yes. It was amazing. But I had trouble getting onto SteamYard too. When Kathy and Colleen were gracious enough to invite me on, I didn't get on as easily. But for me, it was probably user error, not on their end. So I'm working on a tiny little kind of book that I made, or Laura sent me a package of just multiple goodness. And I decided that I was going to try to use every bit of it. And we're now realizing that that may not be possible, but I'm going to do my darndest. I love giving myself challenges. And so that's what I'm doing. I am just gluing bits and pieces of all of this cool stuff that Laura gifted me. Some of it's mine. She gave me this neat stuff. I don't know. Would this be considered lace or not? No. Yes, maybe. But I used it as thread. And I sewed this thingy here to sew this together. And this is from the goodness. This is from the goodness. This is an ad for Worry-Free Living in Sebastian. Eileen probably knows where Sebastian Inlet is. And we got a Timmy girl, some fabric. I've been gluing down fabric. She gave me this transparency, and I thought that kind of just went over that. Yep. This is part of the ad, but this was a mermaid on duty. This is a bigger piece that I just flipped out like so. This is a rooster, obviously not a rooster, chicken. And I traced it and been gluing it on fabric. And be yourself, be brave. And this is me being brave coming on. And then this was a beautiful napkin of this gorgeous flapper girl. I kept this. This is from the Florida edition of the Sierra Club. Get engaged, vote to create change. So I just kind of stuck all this on. This is a little person that you punch out that is here somewhere. But I decided this is kind of a neat little stencil. So I kind of traced that, colored it in with Stabilo Woodies. I love playing with these. And this is just a recap. This is just, I wanted to save this. This was part of the original document, and I kind of glued some of this beautiful tissue paper, right? And wallpaper from Laura's farmhouse that was never put up, right? And a jelly deli page, and another piece of stuff from Laura's goodness. So I'm going to say good afternoon, and I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I call them my starving kiddings from Armenia. I don't know whether you ever heard that as a kid, but my parents would always say eat up because they're starving children in Armenia. So now I think I've got starving cats who are not starving. But thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. And and thank you, Laura. Drunk on Advil. Well, Advil works, though. Actually, I take Aleve. I think Aleve is a good product, too. I hope your mouth heals soon. And whatever you're whatever you're having to wait for, I hope you don't have to wait too long. So, and once again, I highly recommend Amazon Basic Glue Sticks. I think it's a really good product. So goodbye and take care, all of you people, and see you out on the internets, and be safe. Bye. Thank you.